Hi, Kat.
Hi, Padma Ma'am. How are you? Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone that is joining us today. We are just beginning our today's meeting. And we welcome you warmly to all, we give you a warm welcome to all our friends that are joining us today from every corner of India. Today, we have a very special guest, Sister B.Sandhyarani, Sandhya, who belongs to the Theosophical Society in Bangalore, India. She's going to share with us today about the first step in the spiritual path. But before we begin our meeting, a few requests is to keep your microphone muted during the talk. And well, as always, we will start our gathering with the Universal Invocation, and after the talk, we will have a session of questions and answers. So let us feel comfortable and close your eyes if you want, if you feel so, to feel that unity in diversity and oneness of life that the Universal Invocation inspires us, followed by a few moments of silence. Oh, hidden life, vibrant in every atom. Oh, hidden light, shining in every creature. Oh, hidden law, embracing all in oneness. May all who feel themselves as one with thee know they are therefore one with every other. And with this sense of unity, we welcome you again. We welcome also our friends who are watching in YouTube. We are having a session of question and answers after the talk. So if you are watching Zoom, you can put your questions or comments in the chat. If you are watching through YouTube, you can do the same in the YouTube chat. We will take the questions over to our speaker of today, who I am going to introduce right now, Sister B.Sandhyarani. Joined the Theosophical Society in 1991. She is a member of the City Lodge in Bangalore, Karnataka. She has a master and she has working for a long time. Also, she has been a translator of few books from English to Kannada, that is the local language of her state. She has conducted few study classes at Bhopal, Noida, Kerala, Odisha, and few places in Karnataka. She assisted Radhaji for little time and 3 times served as inquiry officer during international convention at Adyar. Her aim is to spread theosophy. We thank Sister Sandhya for joining us today and for accepting our invitation to take part of this program. Thank you very much. Please be welcome, and the floor is all yours.
Thanks a lot, Kathleen. I couldn't meet you directly when I came to Adyar. That's all.
We'll meet
Otherwise,
soon,
I know about you.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Yeah. Well.
At the outset, I would like to thank Pragya CS Studio, particularly Brother Shikhar Agnihotri, for the opportunity given to me to speak on the subject, first step in the spiritual path. First step in the spiritual path is my subject. There is a saying, a ship in port is safe, but that's not what ships are built for. A ship in port is safe, but that's not what ships are built for. All of us have taken birth. We have to lead the life of knowing. Knowingly, we have to lead our life. Knowing what is the question all of us face. What is that we have to know? We know so many things, that this and all 101 things, questions will come to us. Power belongs to those who knows. Power belongs to those who knows. To know about the knowledge of God's plan for man, for God has a plan, and that plan is evolution. Here there are two kinds. One is descending order, that is accumulation. Form is developing. As theosophist, we know form and spirit. Form develops by accumulation, and another one is ascending order, that is sacrifice. Spirit develops by sacrificing. In that order only it is there. When once a man has seen that and really knows it, that is God's plan, he cannot help working for it and making himself one with it, because it is so glorious, so beautiful. So, because he knows, he is on God's side, standing for good and resisting evil, working for evolution and not for selfishness. Here, selfishness is very, very important. Every day we are keeping our steps, right? All of us are walking, we are keeping steps one after the other, but unknowingly, right? At the feet of the master, it is mentioned that if your thought is what it should be, then you will have little trouble in your action. We will have only little trouble in our action because our thought is what it is supposed to be. So let's start. What is our thought? And in case, if one knows the purpose of one's journey, we are all traveling, we are all co-travelers only. If one knows the purpose of one's journey, then he will stop taking long spiral round, but he starts traveling in the straight road. Straight road, that is the first step to the temple on the summit. This is the first step. H.P. Blavatsky writes in her book, Voice of the Silence, search for the paths, but, O Lanu, be of clear heart before thou startest on thy journey. Before thou takes thy first step, learn to discern the real from the false, for ever fleeting from the everlasting. Learn above all to separate head learning from soul's wisdom, the I from the heart doctrine. I doctrine says only I, this I doctrine. Heart doctrine says all are one. The first step in occultism brings the student to the tree of knowledge. He must pluck and eat. Before plucking and eating, one thing he is supposed to do, that is, he has to choose which fruit that he is plucking, which one he is interested in. So the choice is the first thing. In the worship of nature, man begins to thread the first steps on the journey to the glorious divine vision of nature. That is what H.P. Blavatsky has also written. Learn the science on the lap of Mother Nature. So we have to learn lots and lots from the nature. This is the first step. We have to thread. Man begins to thread the first steps on the journey to the glorious divine vision of nature. To take the first step on this ideal path requires a perfectly pure motive. Our motive should be as pure as it can. So with pure motive only, we have to take our first step. No frivolous thought must be allowed to deviate our eyes from the goal. No hesitation, no doubt must fetter our feet. So all these things are the impediment. So we should have a pure motive before we take the first step in our ideal way. We have to travel with motive. So the direction should be very, very clear where we are threading. Then again, H.P. Blavatsky, all of us knows. H.P. Blavatsky has mentioned in her Golden Stays that a clean life is the first step. In what? There are 13 steps in reaching the ideal of human progression and perfection. So if human beings have to progress or one has to perfect himself means one has to lead a clean life. This is very, very important. This is the first step. Clean, 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 shaucha, shuddha, all these things, nirmala, all these things are very, very important. Shuchi in Kannada, that is what we say. I think in Hindi also, Shuchi bolte hain, I think so. The first step as well as the last step in a disciple's life is to get rid of selfishness. The first step as well as the last step, there is only one barrier, especially to a disciple life. That is to get rid of selfishness, because all of us are working selfishly. That means to say we are all working from personality level. So instead of working from the personality level, we have to work from the higher triad. That is higher mental, buddhi and atmic level. That is the main thing, which this is the first step as well as the last step, that we have to get rid of our selfishness. Then the life of a chela ship is a beautiful life. And the first rule is to live to benefit to mankind. To live to benefit to mankind. This is the life of chela ship, because all of us have become member of the Theosophical Society. Again, we have to grow gradually, step by step, step by step. Theosophy says there are three main laws. That is law of karma, law of incarnation, law of evolution. All these things we know. So in that evolution, we are all human beings and our aim is to become superhuman being. So before becoming a superhuman being, we have to take so many initiates, that, this and all. So our intention and main aim is to become a chela. Chela of whom? Chela of a Mahatma or a Guru whom we identify. So this life of a chela ship is a very, very beautiful life. And the first rule is to live for benefit of mankind. The second step is to practice in his daily life the 6 glorious transcendental virtues are paramitas. First is we have to live our life to benefit mankind. Second one is we have to practice the 6 paramitas. There are 6 in numbers, and for the priest, for all human being in general, only 6 paramitas we are supposed to practice in daily life. But for the priest, means those who are really evolved human beings, for the priest, there are 10 paramitas. As per Itel's Chinese Buddhism, as well as the Ceylon high priest Sumangala, they write like this. Even H.P. Blavatsky has also written very clearly. Number 1 paramita is charity, dhana. First and foremost, we have to give, because spirit grows by sacrifice. So we have to give only. So first thing is charity. Before giving anything, we have to understand and then give. That is dhana, charity. Next is morality. That is shila. Moral is very, very important in our life. Third one is truth or patience, shanti. Fourth is energy. That is virya. One should be energetic enough. Fifth one is kindness or contemplation or meditation. That is nothing but dhyana, we say. Sixth is wisdom. That is prajna. We have to use our consciousness. It is gradually, it is going. And the 4 additional for priests are patience or use of right means. That is expediency. That is upaya. The 8th one is registration or pious vows, prayer or vow. That is pranidhana, surrendering completely to the God. Next is resolution or science or strength. That is bhala. Again, strength. Then last one is abnegation, force of purpose or knowledge. That is jnana. We have to have the jnana to do all these things, because all of us are in ajnana. Right from charity from where we are studying. The charity is, it starts from physical level. Then gradually it goes above only. Charity, once you start giving charity, dhana, that is sacrificing, it really takes you immensely. That charity is very, very important. From charity till we achieve the jnana of what is oneness. Till then, we are supposed to grow one by one, one by one. We have to continuously evolve ourselves. The first step is vision. The first step of spiritual growth. The first step of upward progress. Not to live in order to benefit oneself, but to benefit the universe. That is Shreya and Preya. Preya is what I like, what benefits me. That is nothing but selfishness. Next one is, but to benefit the universe means that is Shreya, what is good for one and all. That work is very, very important, and one is supposed to do only that. We have to ignore the selfishness and we have to work for the good of many, which indeed, and from another standpoint, is our own self. If we help others, same thing, it will spread everywhere. That includes me also. For it is me and I am it. Aham Brahmasmi, because I am the ray of the same Parabrahman. Same, all of us are the same. I am one, you are one, another person is one. It's the same thing. Each one is part and parcel of one unity. That is what we have to understand. Again, in Voice of the Silence, it is mentioned that to live to benefit mankind is the first step. Until he has absolutely abandoned any desire for personal benefit or gain, is unfit even to attempt to thread the path. Is unfit even to attempt to thread the path. To live to benefit to mankind. How? That question automatically arises. Step out from sunlight into shade to make room for others. We have to make room for others. So in case if we are standing in the sunlight, we have to come into the shade. Means it's not me. Let anyone get that sunlight. So we have to step out from the sunlight into a shade and make room for others. Again, in Voice of the Silence, H.P. Blavatsky, she is the founder of the Theosophical Society, one of the main founder. She is the person who has given us theosophy also. Says that once a man is an accepted pupil, his personality has to disappear forever. There is no personality at all. There is no physical plane. There is no as etheric double. There is no astral plane. There is no lower mental at all. He has to become mere beneficent force in nature. So the voice that can be heard in the master's world is genuine desire to live to benefit to mankind. It really includes all others. From where that Voice of the Silence comes, if we really try to understand, means in the physical body, the Voice of the Silence comes from the above. That is, from the astral body, whatever that voice comes, it comes to below only. In case if we are working in the astral body, means they will get the voice from the mental body. In case if our conscious is working in mental body, means then the voice what we hear is from the buddhic plane. In case if our conscious is working in buddhic plane, then we will get our Atma's voice. That is the insight we get. In every planes, we have to grow. From above only, it comes down. This is how it is. The voice of, it can be heard. Master's voice can be heard. But only thing, we have to grow above, and we have our conscious should expand. Again, in the light and the path, it is mentioned that desire only that which is unattainable. Desire only that which is unattainable. This sounds discouraging, naturally. Why we should desire? That too, when we know that it is unattainable. We should not desire. Why unnecessarily waste time and energy, all those things? So it's discouraging. We should not. That is what the thing is. But when really we understand the meaning of that, it really gives renewed energy. A new energy will come into us. The text goes on continuously like this. It is unattainable because it forever recedes. You may enter the light, but you will never touch the flame. We may enter the light, but we never touch the flame. As the soul gains in spiritual consciousness, it becomes greater and grander. But it is traveling, but the first steps in the real journey. This is the real journey. But the journey is becoming more and more pleasant. As we climb the mountain side of attainment, the view becomes grander at each step. I have gone to Joke Falls in Karnataka. It's a fall. I saw that fall from this level. I've seen the fall in the middle. I've seen the fall at the bottom. I've seen from above also. If you can also Google and watch that Joke Falls. Each step, it gives a total different view. I've experienced, so I know what it is. In the same way, in the spiritual path also, it is possible 100%. Only thing, we have to lead our life. Our life should be not filled with selfishness. For Romans, first step is purification. Dhyana is the first step on the path. All of us knows dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So dhyana is the first step on the spiritual path. Then Jiddu Krishnamurti says right education is the first step. Again, I too thought, let me also say something about the first step from my own point of view. Then I thought contentment is the first step. Unless and until one is contented, one cannot give. Right from physical charity. If I'm okay with whatever I have, then whatever comes, that is extra. So that contentment should be there. Then only we will start giving. Then only we will think of the good of humanity. Like me, only the other person is also. This is what I interpreted when I went through this first step. What I feel for myself. What is the first step is contentment and self with love. That unselfishness one has to practice. This is what is my feeling. Love is the first step on the upward way. Love is the first step on the upward way. Then all of us every day, especially you people, majority are have seen, and in Adyar even to this day at 6 o'clock Bharat Samaj Puja is taking place. Even in Bangalore every day we perform Bharat Samaj Puja. In that there is one shloka, that is Trivikrama, an epithet of Vishnu used in Rig Veda in relation to the 3 steps of Vishnu. The first step it took on earth in the form of Agni. The second in the atmosphere in the form of Vayu, god of air. And the third in the sky in the shape of Surya, the sun. We perform puja and then we give ahuti also to that. What does we say? We say that Agnaye Swaha, Agnaye Idan Namama, Suryaya Swaha, Suryaye Idhan Namama, Prajapataye Swaha, Prajapataye Idhan Namama. So first what we offer is Agni only. Agnaye Swaha. Like that it goes. We sacrifice all the 3 steps we are giving. Then one who does his best, whatever the work that we are doing, one who does his best, does all that can be asked. Because at the feet of the master, it's very beautifully said, unless and until one asks, we should not interfere ourselves in somebody's work. So if anyone asks, we have to do our level best. There is a moment when even Buddha ceases to be a sinning mortal and takes his first step towards Buddhahood. So it goes to that an extent, to that level. To know ourselves, at least to the extent we are able to see ourselves. It's not that we can see our emotions, we can see our astral body, mental body, buddhic body, atma, all those things. Whatever the extent that we can contemplate or we imagine about ourselves is the first step to wisdom. And such knowledge will increasingly bring both clarity as well as charity. First and foremost, our vision, it should be clear. In case if I'm blind, whatever I see is blur. So in case if my vision is clear, then clarity will come. Once if I have understood properly, charity automatically starts. Then next thing is killing all sense of separateness. This is the main cause for evil. This is the sense of separateness. And plant your foot on the first step of the ladder. Grow as the flower grows unconsciously. but eagerly anxious to open its soul to the air. The first step in meditation consists in cultivating the thought. Our thought, it should not spread in the whichever the way that it wants to go. We have to cultivate the thought until it becomes habitual that the physical body is an instrument of the spirit. We have to understand this is just an instrument. Physical body itself is not everything. Spirit lies in the physical body. Physical body is just tangible, but spirit is intangible, but it is there. We are part of that spirit only. We are rays. In the book Chakras, C.W. Leadbeater writes, it is reported that Lord Buddha once said that first step on the road to nirvana is perfect physical health. Perfect physical health. A fit mind lies in the fit body. This is what we have to understand. And assuredly, the way to attain that is to follow the Four Noble Truths. Then again, somebody has written, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all those things shall be added unto you. Yes, even the physical health as well. In case majority of the problems, physical problems, whatever that we are facing is nothing but psychosomatic health problem. So we have to come out of that. Then C.W. Leadbeater writes in his Hidden Side of Things, the first step towards this is that the man himself should learn thoroughly to control the lower bodies so that there shall be in them no thought or feeling except those who he approves, unless and until any thought should not come and enter our brain till we approves. Yes, I'm thinking in this level. Our higher mind should approve this, not our lower mind. Lower mind continuously accumulates thoughts, but it should get stopped. Then C.W. Leadbeater writes in Masters in the Path, for all ordinary people, middle way of a good life lived in the world is in every way best and safest. The first step towards the leading of such a life is to understand its conditions, and the Lord Buddha lays these down for us in what he has called Four Noble Truths. What are those Four Noble Truths? We all know that sorrow or suffering, the cause of sorrow, the ceasing of sorrow or escape from the sorrow or letting go. Then the fourth one is the way which leads to escape from sorrow. For everything, the root cause is desire, then sorrow. So we have to stop desire for oneself so that automatically we will stop suffering. Then what are those Four Noble Eightfold Path is the way which leads to escape from sorrow. These are all the Eightfold Path. First and foremost is right belief, right thought, right speech, right action, right means of livelihood, right exertion or right endeavor, right memory or right remembrance, right meditation or right concentration. So in everything, right has come because that is right. Annie Besant says, respect is the first step. We have to respect others as well as we have to respect ourselves. Respect is the first step, then education, then training in trade or profession or giving them every opportunity of raising. So first and foremost, respect. In Kannada, we say gaurava. That is very, very necessary. Then the first step towards control of the mind is to keep it usefully occupied, to have, as has already been said, some definite, good and useful set of thoughts as a background to the mind's operation. Definite, good, useful. It should be definite. Every thought has got its own power, its own speed, its own color. We all know about all those things. So something upon which it shall always fall back when there is no immediate need for its activity in connection with duty to be done. So first and foremost is we should have the control on our mind. The first step in occultism is to realize that we are ceaselessly self-deceived. the first step in occultism is to realize that we are ceaselessly self-deceived. Then in Secret Doctrine, H.P. Blavatsky writes, meanwhile, we may close with a few parting words to our readers. Power belongs to them who knows. This is very old axiom. Knowledge, or the first step to power, especially that of comprehending the truth, of discerning the real from the false, belonging only to those who place truth above their own petty personalities. We have to keep truth above all our lower personality. Truth is only one thing, and we have to understand and we have to accept and respect. This is very, very important. In First Principles of Theosophy, C. Jinrajadasa writes, as the first step of involution, the Logos descends on the Adi plane. All the three great aspects as Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma, or the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost function in perfection. Function in perfection. This is the first step. This is involution. All this while we knew about something, evolution. This is involution. Evolution is Manvantara, that is everything we work. Involution is just looking within. This is what it happens. Then cease to do evil is the first step towards the spiritual life, the foundation which a man must lay. Cease to do evil, that is the first step. Then there must be second step also, no? The second step is active, to do right. When we cease to do evil, we have to do something. What we are supposed to do is to do right things. Now, let us see what has been mentioned in 3 gems of Theosophy. You already have spoken, taken from these 3 gems. Now, one by one, at least one thing, let us see. At the feet of the master, this is the basic thing. In case if we implement whatever has been written in At the feet of the master, we all know that it will take us to first initiation. Here, Jiddu Krishnamurti says, discrimination is the first step. It has to be practiced, not only at the beginning of the path, but at every step of it, every day until the end. Discrimination between real and unreal, discrimination between right and wrong, the important and unimportant, the useful and useless, the true and the false, the selfish and unselfish, etc. Like this only, everything contrasts to 2 things goes. But we have to choose, not only from the beginning of the journey till we reach nirvana. This is the one thing always we have to use. It will automatically come when comes every day, every second, it will come to us once we reach some certain stage in this spiritual path. For the wise disciple is to learn to discriminate the unchanging light from the changing objects of senses that it illumines. Only the sense things will change, but life is unchanging. This is the process of Atma Anatma Viveka, Atma Anatma Viveka, or discrimination between self and not self, as taught by the Vedanta. It is also the alchemical process of distillation or sublimation, by which the subtle portion of the matter in the retort is driven off by heat and so obtained in a purer state. Therefore, the first instruction is that we should study the nature of sensation. We have to study the nature of sensation, how that sensation arises. This, whatever Jiddu Krishnamurti has taught, same thing we can experience practically if we go and attain Vipassana. In that only sensation, vibration, thadana, vedana, all these things. So we have to observe, study the nature of sensation, without judging, without condemning, without appreciation, without desiring. What is, we have to observe. Whatever the sensation it comes, everything, Mahapura, they say, sensation from top to bottom it comes. Only thing we have to observe, whatever is there within us only will come out. Gradually, deep-rooted sensation also will come. We can experience. As they rise and set within the heavens of the heart, learn from sensation and observe it, because only so can you commence the science of self-knowledge. and plant your foot on the first step of the ladder. Self-knowledge is the main goal. That is what one has to understand. This is the main subject. This is the first step only. Then in Voice of the Silence, H.P. Blavatsky has written, as I mentioned earlier, same thing. Kill thy desires. Lanu, make thy vices impotent. Here, the first step is taken on the Solomon journey. First is kill thy desires. Whatever the desires is always, it pertains to lower personality. Physically, only we need, all our sense organs only are asking, I want this, I want this. Everywhere, only I is there. Lanu, she says, make the vices important. It should not have any sort of life. It should be died. That is important. It cannot do anything. It cannot create anything. Here, the first step is taken on the Solomon journey. Then last one. This is a classic among all occultist book. That is Light on the Path. Is a classic among occultists and is the best guide known to for those who have taken the first step on the path of attainment. The person who studies, we all know that Voice of the Silence takes us to 4th initiation. From 5th to 7th initiation, Light on the Path takes us. This is a classic book among all the occult books. And it is the best guide also to know, for those who have taken the first step. This is after taking the first step only, it gives all the directions on the path of attainment. Attainment of what? After attaining the samadhi, all these things will come. This is the first step, and this is the best guide also. In H.P. Blavatsky writes, H.P. Blavatsky says, the first step in occultism is sacrifice, and the second is renunciation. Sacrifice is different, renunciation is different. First step in the occultism is sacrifice, and the second one is renunciation. Absolute renunciation of all that men prize and long for here on earth. Completely self-abnegation. Perfect devotion to the service of others. Destruction of all personal desires. Detachment from all earthly things. Such is the first step on the right-hand path. And until that step is taken, it is idle to talk of further progress along that thorny road, because spiritual path is not that easy. Every step we have to cross, we have to put our foot on so many thorns will be there. So first and foremost, we have to do, that self-abnegation is there. Then whatever the service that we perform with complete devotion, we have to do. This is Ishvara Pranidhana. We have to surrender ourselves. This is the main thing. And then again, very beautifully, it has been mentioned. Many people never take the first step towards the path. It's a fact, because we are all merged in this only life. Because they think they're not good enough. They think they're not good enough. I'll do after some time, after I fulfill all my physical desires, if time permits, if my health is good, then let me be good enough. Otherwise, all these negative things are there within me, I'll think. Or let me evolve some more, evolve enough, or something like that. Now, that is something which we cannot individually know. What we know about ourselves is only about this life. That too, very, very little, to very small extent only we know about ourselves. What is there, our past, we don't know. Luckily, in this life, we have become the member of the Theosophical Society. We know this knowledge. At least a bit, we have got the opportunity at least to study and know a bit. Implementation automatically comes. Then entire life is filled only with that. We will reach to that extent also. We must begin where we are. Each individual, we don't know in which step we are. So wherever we are at present, we have to just start. To go far, we must begin near. To go far, we must begin near. Then all of us have got so many negative points also. First, he has to overcome in himself the weaknesses. We are not strong enough. That bhala is not there. That energy is not there. First and foremost, we have to overcome that weaknesses. We are doing so many fault things. Sometimes knowingly, sometimes unknowingly also. That faults, that disabilities of hereditary or character, which he finds in his own particular family. That is the first step. So we have to overcome all those things. Whatever the negative things are there in us, we have to overcome to thread in this spiritual path. Buddha taught to men that to rely upon themselves is the first step, to rely upon themselves. This is what Master Maurya has also told. You have to stand on your own. This is the first step. We have to rely, because we cannot rely on others. Whatever others are, it is for them, not for us. So we have to. So Attha Deepo Bhava, you have to become a light unto yourself in order to achieve their own salvation. In case if I want something, means I have to rely upon myself only. Then only I can solve, and not to look to any external savior. Whatever other person says is from his point of view. From my point of view, from my life, my karma, my thinking, my thought, all these things is for me. So I have to rely on myself. The first step towards this aim is that the soul itself shall learn thoroughly to control the lower bodies, so that there shall be in them no thought or feeling except those which the soul allows. That means to say, first is our higher mind should allow all those thoughts from higher mental body. Here, the soul should allow. This is the first step in a higher level. Then Krishna Prem, he was the second head of Mirtula Ashram, which is near Almora, that is in Himalayas. What he says about the first step is, he says, detachment. In any case, detachment from sensation is the first step. So he says and insists, detach. Don't attach anything. Jiddu Krishnamurti has also spoken about that only. Anything, don't attach yourself to anything. Just see what is. This is the self-knowledge. In case if you want to get self-knowledge, means just detach from everything. We attach to this God. We attach to that person. We attach to this something, because for the main reason is fear. Because of that, we want to rely on somebody else also. We have to overcome from all those negative things or our weaknesses. Once if we overcome, automatically we detach from everything. Nothing, what is. We will be strong enough, bold enough to accept the reality. That is the truth, nothing else. First step of all, absolutely necessary, without which no approach is possible, by which achievement ever comes within reach of realization, may be summed up in 4 brief words. Only 4 words are enough to put our foot in the first step. The service of man. The service of man. Anything that is of value to human life is included on that way. Choose then what, why you will, because your capacities and your opportunities. So nice, so beautiful, no? The service of man. So one has to start serving. In the outer court also, if we really study and understand, after threading, then we will enter in the outer court. Once if we put our foot on the threshold, then we can have a view what is written inside. There is only one word has been written, that is service. Only through service we can enter this spiritual path. Service is the first step, and then we have been told the qualifications which we need when striving to serve the world. We would tread the higher path, the path which is called that of probation. Then we can enter the path of probation. Probation, in that they will check whether we are capable or not. After we clear, even in our job also, we will have to have a probationary period of 2 years. Even in Theosophical Society, before and all, 2 years, even Pythagoras, used to tell the students to keep their mouth shut, just listen. Just listen. For us, this is the main problem. We have to talk. The question of listening is not there. When somebody is telling, our mind is talking, chattering. So first and foremost, on the probationary path, we have to pass. The first thing is through service only, we have to enter. While serving, we will really go through so many things that ego will automatically goes away. For that, service is the only way to reduce our ego and come to this probationary path. Learn then that the service demanded is that unselfish service that gives everything and asks for nothing in return. In case if we ask anything in return, that is karma phala. So there is no point. In case if you are that is nothing but we are working and we are taking some salary, we will get only that much. In case if we serve and forget it without expecting anything in return, we should not expect. Karma phala tyaga. Karma phala tyaga. Phala is the fruit, so we should not. That also we have to sacrifice, forego. This is the first thing which we have to learn. And if you find that in you, and it is a necessary of your nature, not a choice, but an overmastering impulse, then you may be sure that you are one of the men of the world who are taking the first step towards the path. This is where all the keys, all the clues have been given to us. Only thing we have to understand and implement. We have seen our man of the world taking his first step deliberately towards the higher life. We have followed him as he sought for a teacher. We have seen him succeed in search when the teacher was found. He has succeeded in his search when the teacher was found. We are just searching without knowing we are searching. Then one find a, this is the teacher. Or who is the teacher? We are searching something. Then the goal is fixed. Where is the goal? The goal is there in the front. Where is Guru? Guru is at the back, because he will not allow his disciple to fall. He knows how to guide, how to hold, how to train, how to mend, how to correct. Everything Guru knows. That's why Guru is very, very important. To one extent, Guru is very, very important, and it is required also. Once if we really understand about ourselves, without the teacher, we can do ourselves. By then we have mastered ourselves. Then we will have some clarity how to go about it, or how to proceed, or how to go in depth in that particular subject. Till then, teacher is very much required. Life after life, we must be trained. Life after life, becoming more and more identified with all, and breaking down everything that separates from man to man. That is why brotherhood is our only condition. Because the recognition of that is the first step towards this realization of non-separateness, which is necessary if the disciple is to progress. Finally, we have come to understand the brotherhood and sense of non-separateness. This is very much required at the beginning only. This is the first step. Freedom is without motive. Freedom is not at the end of evolution of man, but lies in the first step of his existence. Unless and until a human being is free enough, he cannot do. Only recently I was just listening to some JK's thing. Then in that audio, he says, unless and until you are at leisure, you cannot learn anything. So freedom is very much required to each individual. This is the first step of his existence. In observation of one begins to discover the lack of freedom. Freedom is found in the choiceless awareness of our daily existence and activity. Where is that freedom is found is, it lies and it is found in the choiceless awareness. This is a core teaching of Jiddu Krishnamurti. Choiceless awareness of our daily existence and activity. Again, Jiddu Krishnamurti writes, freedom in the book, Freedom from the Known. Beauty lies in total abandonment of the observer and the observed. And there can be abandonment only when there is total austerity, not the austerity of the priest with its harshness, its sanctions, rules, and obedience, not austerity in clothes, ideas, food, or behavior, but the austerity of being totally simple, which is complete humility. Then there is no achieving, no ladder to climb. There is only the first step, and the first step is the everlasting step. When nothing is there, first step and the last step, it is the same, because there is no question of expectation. All these things are there. The first step can be always be made upon the way, and this may be followed by another step and yet another. Before one starts, there must be a desire or firm resolve to make the first step. The desire should be very, very firm. In case if we are shaky, we are not firm, then we cannot keep the first step. We will fall down, either this direction or that direction, or anyway, front, back, left side, right side, we will fall down. So the desire or firm resolve to make the first step. So it must be firm enough. Our next step is to proceed further to reach our goal after perambulating on the path of discipleship, ultimately to reach the sacred state of nirvana. That is the stage of nirvana. Nothing is there. In that, one can go and merge himself in that. Nirvana is complete, perfect. That is where one is going, putting step by step and reaching that goal. The first step is this development is the conquering of the dweller of the threshold, and the key to the position is the displacement of love of self by the love of eternal good, which finds its expression in the universal brotherhood of humanity, the fundamental principle which the Theosophical Society rests. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandhyaji. Thank you so much from Catalina and me, both of us, because we have been trying, both of us, to get you for this talk for quite some time, and finally we got you today. And what a sharing it has been, because maybe some people might be expecting there would be like some step you would be sharing, but you have shared from so many different aspects and in different ways that it was really like, I mean, no space for any confusion or doubt can remain in any of the minds of the people here, of our brothers and sisters. But still, if anyone has any questions or any queries, any additions or their own experience that they would like to share, you can kindly unmute yourself, but first raise your hand so we can invite you and spotlight you. Switch on your video, please, and then we can have your question. Or as Catalina earlier said, that you can put the question in the chat box and we will take it up. So please, all of you are welcome. And in the meantime, while our sisters and brothers are maybe going to share their question, we have got a couple of queries from the WhatsApp. You mentioned, Sandhya about like my first step, that maybe you were talking about yourself. So what, it has been asked that since people are at different stage of evolution, so do you think the first step in the present life will also vary from person to person? Any thoughts on this?
Yes. Yes. First step cannot be the same to one and all. Each individual are in different level of evolution. For me, first step is something different. For you, first step, because we don't know what is our past. It differs.
Yeah, so that's, I think the person might have got his clarity. And Anyone who would like to ask any question, kindly unmute yourself and switch on your video. Sister Zina, you want to say something?
Yes, brother.
Yeah.
I would like to know in what reference do you talk about sensation? Because sensation in hearing, in sight, in taste, in touch, is this the sensation you're talking about? We live with senses
Yes.
all the time. And are we not supposed to enjoy beautiful music or the chirping of the birds or delicious food or touching something, your little child? These are all sensations and they are God-given.
Yes. We have to observe our sensation without condemning. Some sensation are very good. We will touch the baby and we feel its skin. It is so pleasant and we really enjoy. We will touch our hand on something else, very rough or on the throne. Then it will hurt. Again, that is also sensation. Then immediately we will remove our hand. Nothing is required. Instantaneously we will remove. Something is very heat, especially while cooking. You must be experiencing cooker. Automatically we will keep finger. It burns. That sensation we are just supposed to observe without enjoying, without condemning. I want or I don't want. I like this. I don't like this. Without judging, we should be in a position to observe it.
Okay, so yeah, I think as far as I understand what Sister Sandhya ji has explained, that having sensation is not bad or not not discouraged, but the craving for sensation is the cause of all suffering, as you said, desire, because the sensation we like, we want to have again, and the sensation that we don't like, we don't want to have again, which is again both liking, disliking, both are desires. So as Sister Zina was saying, that enjoying a beautiful sunrise or sunset, or yes, but we can only fully enjoy them when we do not have any desire for the repetition of those sensations. So and then only actually we can really enjoy it, live in that moment, instead of, oh, today I had a beautiful sunrise and so tomorrow also I should get it. So then it may become a cause of maybe tomorrow is a cloudy day and I may not get that sunrise. So but did that answer your query, Sister Zina?
Thank you. But I'm thinking about when we hear a talk, we relate it to our everyday experiences.
Yes.
So now I'm thinking about my life, and we are supposed to be in tune with nature. And nature is God-given. I'm talking about real nature, not artificial in any way. So you listen to the twittering of the birds. You feel the coolness of, the coolness of the breeze. You see the palm trees swaying. All this fills you with joy. Isn't it? Should we not fill ourselves with this? It's sacred. It is a part of our spiritual self, also nature. So when you talk, I'm trying to think, how can I incorporate it in my everyday life? That's why I'm asking these rather lame questions. So sorry.
Listen to a beautiful music, no? You automatically expect, let it continue. That is again desire. I want it and I want the continuity of it. When some crooked or sound which is terrible, we cannot hear, automatically we do like this.
Yes.
This should not be there. Then again we will do this. Even that should not be there. I want to listen properly. All those things. No expectation, no avoiding. You should not do this or that. Whatever is there, just listen. You are enjoying, enjoy, but don't expect it again. I want to enjoy. It has to continue. And don't compare also. Yesterday it was so nice. This nightingale sound will come, especially during now also in the morning also I heard that. But I was attending one class, in that I heard. But again, my attention goes towards that for the same sound. That should not happen. Without judging, we have to listen.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we
Yes.
relate? Shana's here.
Yes, Sister Shahnaz, please go ahead.
Can we relate this to pratyahara in yoga? No dualities.
Sandhya ji, Sister Shahnaz is asking, can we relate this observation part or being detached kind of pratyahar in the yoga practice that we have one of the limbs?
Pratyahara, I don't think so. That is totally different. There are different stages, no? In that we come in a different way. Here, no expectation. We are just observing what it is. In that pratyahara, we are not taking anything which is not ours, right?
Yes.
Here, nothing is there. What is, we are observing. Just observing.
Just observing, not feeling the sensation.
I'll not take. Even that should not come.
No dualities.
That is not mine. That is not mine. Even that should also not be there.
Okay.
What is, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's in simple ways. If it is a sunny day, enjoy a sunny day. If it's a cloudy day, enjoy a cloudy day. If it's a sickness, enjoy your sickness. If you are in health, enjoy your health. So basically, do not condemn or say either I like this or I dislike this. Whatever is there, just have full experience of that.
Okay.
So
it should not come. What is only should be there. Instead of this, I want that. No replacement.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Sister
Thank you.
Zina, and thank you, Sister Shahnaz, and thank you, Sandhya, for your clarifications. And we, in the meantime, we have another questioner, Firoza ji and Zinu Master ji, right? Thank you for the excellent talks. And thank you for the talk organization. Dr. Sushma Srivastava writes, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. First step may be different, but destination is same. Thanks, Sister Sandhya, for excellent presentation. So, is there anyone else who would like to share something or ask something? I have one more thing here. A person has written that first step towards a spiritual path or wisdom is understanding one's ignorance. Any thoughts on this?
Sorry, last, what did you say?
That first step towards spirituality or wisdom is understanding one's own ignorance first. So any thoughts of yours on this?
Exactly. We are ignorant in so many areas. First and foremost, we have to listen. We are ignorant of complete listening. In that listening only everything lies. We are ignorant, really ignorant. Out of ignorance only, we are not achieving whatever we are supposed to achieve. Because of all, the main root cause of ignorance is our ignorance only, sorrow. Why are we suffering? Why that pain? Why I am suffering? Because of my ignorance only. Fire is fire. If the child puts his hand, that is natural. Out of ignorance, especially ignorance of law, ignorance of medicines, ignorance what we are supposed to eat, especially the fruit, seasonal fruit one can eat. But we are ignorant. Everything is available and we eat. And that is the main root cause for our problems. And we suffer. Ignorance itself is the root cause for our suffering. You need some more clarification on the ignorance or suffering?
No, I think that should be enough.
I'm having sugar, I'm having BP, Still my BP raises because I'm irritated. I want to eat sweets. My sugar raises.
Okay, thank you so much, Sandhya And Taralji writes, great in-depth talk, Sandhya congrats. And thanks. So I think now there are no more questions. So we have Brother Sudeep Kumar Mishra ji, you want to say something? You have switched on your video.
No, she expressed so nicely. I don't think we should say something.
Okay. Thank you for joining, Sudeep ji. And okay, then now let us, Dr. Kamal Mohanoti. Okay, one last comment from Dr. Kamal Mohanoti from Rajasthan.
It's all beautiful, actually, well explained, and everything, because she said that it can first step for multiple first step for multiple purposes, but the thing is one, in one unite one. Always it will be the first step and the last step will be the one, because there will be the same journey. You have to, she talked about the descent and ascent, but we can talk also because Arvind Rishi has written in Savitri, ascent and descent. And where there, we are coming from the higher side to the descent take birth, and again we are going to the higher side. This is the ascent actually. And we have to purify ourselves, we have to be desireless. And beautifully she said that you have to be Dani and all that. First we have to serve the mankind, and we think for all others and yourself too. Understand yourself and understand others and be helpful to everybody, and understand that you are the one and everyone is the one, you're all a brotherhood. So she said, very beautifully explained actually in all aspects, in evolution and in the relation and in the different stages, referring to the voice of silence and also to the lead beater and this one, Mark Prakashini, light on the path, everything. She has beautifully explained, and so heartily congratulations to her. It's so beautiful.
Thank you, Dr. Kamalji, for your inputs. And now let us proceed to the closing session. And Sister Meherangi is also conveying her gratitude to Sandhya for sharing her thoughts and knowledge so well on the subject. So I would like to extend a heartfelt gratitude on Catalina's and my own behalf and Prakasya Studio for that you accepted our proposal and you shared very, very valuable and inspiring thoughts on today's subject, and on behalf of our delegates also. And thank you to all our delegates, brothers and sisters from India and abroad who took time to join us and made this session a vital one with some of their questions and interactions. And now, before proceeding to the closing prayers, a couple of announcements for the upcoming programs is, as you know, the TS Triveni Tuesday meet we have organized by Taral Munshiji with Jyoti Reva Rohit Lodge. So on Tuesday, 31st May, they have the talk on consciousness. Then it will be by Brother Dhruva in English, Brother Tirumalavan in Tamil, and Archana Munshiji in Hindi, and Taral Munshiji will be moderator. And in that, it will be at 6:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Then the next Sunday, we have Pragya CS Studio as the closing session of this season of Pragya CS Studios event. We have again a cup of tea or Sophie with the Vice President of the Theosophical Society, Adyar, Dr. Deepa Padi. And if you remember, we had a similar session with the President, Tim Boyd, in the month of February this year, a cup of tea or Sophie. and it will be like an informal question and answer session with Dr. Deepa Padiji that we'll be having. But the questions we already have, we have got received, so that those will be the ones. And it will be on 5th June and same time, 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time. It will be live streamed on YouTube also, Pragya C Studio channel. So looking forward to see you, all of you, on the closing session of this season of Pragya C Studio next Sunday. And now let us all come together in heart and mind, using all our thought power and willpower for the welfare of all this manifestation, praying for their well-being, health, harmony, and happiness. Oh. May all become happy. May none fall ill. May all see auspiciousness everywhere. May none ever feel sorrow. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you once again, everyone, for today's session, and see you next Sunday, same time. Have a great week ahead. Health, happiness, harmony. From Catalina, myself, and Pragya C Studio.
Thank you, Shikharji. Thank you,
Thank you.
Catalina ji. Thank you, Sandhya ji. I'm starting